FLIKO!
Do you want a big tip that's worked for me lately? No matter who you are in this chat, as long as you make music, I promise you, trying to teach yourself a little bit of piano every week is going to help you. Building up chord changes, learning about harmony, learning about what notes work together, even learning about what notes to play over the chord change, whatever the like. It's so helpful. Little tip, chord changes are not copyrightable. So if you go find a chord change you like, put it in a beat. Who cares? You know 1,000 songs that have a 1-4-5 in them. Literally 1,000 songs. So many of the hits that you've heard your whole life on the radio and stuff are the same chord changes. Just make them creative. Use different rhythms. Use different keys even. Like, use different tempos, whatever the fuck it is. Red Hot Chili Peppers got sued by Tom Petty. Guarantee you anything, JM the Dude, it wasn't just the chord change. There was some other melody on top or some other likeness to the sound of the original recording. You can't get sued for using the same chords or even the same key. You can't. Motifs can get you in trouble. Even a feeling can get you in trouble. Pharrell got sued for a feeling. I know we talked about it one time before, but you don't understand how scary it is right now. Pharrell got sued because his shit felt like something else. Not because he stole, not because he sampled, not because he used the same exact anything. Pharrell's song Blurred Lines with Robin Thicke felt like Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye's estate sued him and won for a shit ton of money. So we're all f***ed. When that happens in court, when somebody wins and that case has never been tried before, that means they set a precedent. And that means once someone has lost for that, any of us can lose for that. Here's why they lost. They had said something about being inspired by Marvin Gaye in an interview, not about that song specifically, but I think they talked about when they were working in the studio, they were listening to a lot of Marvin, or they were like inspired by Marvin in the making of the album, something like that. They said something about, we've been listening to a lot of Marvin Gaye. If you listen to Blurred Lines and then you listen to the Marvin Gaye song they're talking about, you will notice certain tempo things, percussion things, groove things that can feel similar. They got sued for a vibe. All jokes aside, they got sued for vibes. Truly. It's scary for all of us. Because if you truly in here and you're not inspired by anything, get out of here and go collab with Bjork and go make the most original music in the whole world. Because I think most of us in here have big inspirations. Most of us in here hear shit that's new and cool and exciting to us, and it makes us push our own boundaries, or it makes us go like try to learn what that did or what that person did and then use it for ourselves. If you're inspired by anything and it comes out in your music now, and that estate or that person or that label that owns those masters or whatever it is, they decide to say, oh, we know you're inspired by this. This kind of sounds like this. We think we have good enough lawyers and a good enough case to where we can win. There's already the precedent for the Robin Thicke case. People have lost for this in the past. We're not in a good situation right now for people like me who are very inspired by a lot of shit. People literally at labels now, a lot of the time, will send your music before it can come out to a musicologist. And this musicologist goes back to the label and says, I think this right here might be something that they could sue about. This chord change is reminiscent of this song. This drum pattern is also used in this other song. They might have a case. Even though you've already cleared the sample, there's other songwriters who had worked on this song who have in the past have disputed things and blah, blah, blah. Like, and then you're sitting there like, okay, so is the sample clear? And they're like, yeah, the sample is clear. No worry about the sample. And I'm like, okay, cool. The rest of the beat is produced by me. We're okay with my fee. We're okay with everything else in the back end. Why can't this come out now? Oh, well, the musicologist thinks that what you did with that snare fill at the end of the verse, it's a little bit kind of like the snare fill in Nice for What by Drake. So they're a little worried about it. Could you send us a version where the rhythm's a little different, or you use a different snare drum sound, and then we'll bring that to the musicologist? And then I go, wait, but I played that fill in that beat. I picked that snare drum out. It's not sampled, and it's not even the same rhythm or the same tempo as that Drake song. And they're going, well, yeah, but the musicologist said that there could be a situation where they think this is inspired by that. We know this artist is a big fan of that artist. We just wouldn't want it to get f***ed up. So could you send us a version with just a different fill? And I'm sitting here like, I like my beat how it is. And this artist really likes the beat how it is. and I didn't sample, I'm not inspired by that other song, haven't even really listened to that fill really closely in that other song, and you're telling me I might need to change something in my beat in this song that I made with this artist, even though we didn't sample, just because the musicologist of the label says it might be too close and someone could sue you on a vibe because Pharrell and Robin Thicke lost on a vibe. That's where we're at now. That's true. I've never talked about that before, but Matt Czar, thank you for bringing it up because that's frustrated the out of me a couple times. You know how hard it was to get out Flo Milli Roaring 20s? Not because of the label, not because of Flo Milli's team, not because of my team, a goddamn musicologist who doesn't even work at the label. It's just someone who's like hired by the label to say if something's too close in vibe. Like, I had already cleared the sample, everything was fixed, this and that, and then they're still telling me like, could you try it like this just in case? And I'm like, well, I didn't sample. I'm not inspired by that. We didn't use anything from that song, but you're telling me we might be able to get sued by that song? I remade Dirt Off Your Shoulders. Rico Nasty said, I need Dirt Off Your Shoulders. And I was like, all right, I'll make you something similar. And she's like, no, I want that beat. And I was like, well, if you use that beat, like, I don't know how that, I have to remake it. And she's like, okay, get to it. So I remade that shit from scratch, the Dirt Off Your Shoulders shit. And Timbo was so fair and so cool about it. Like, they cleared the sample, they cleared everything on the back end. It was no issue. It was, I think, probably because Timbo's gone through it on an even bigger side. You know what I mean? Timbo's gone through it from the people, from the original songs that he was sampling for Aaliyah and for Jay-Z and for Justin Timberlake and for anybody. Like, they had already sued him and probably ruined his money and ruined records for him and ruined years for him and this and that. Being in court nonstop, fighting about a song that you produced. So I think whenever I sampled Pharrell, I've sampled Timbo, I've sampled all these big producers that we all look up to. They've all been so cool to me. Like, it's not me and Timbo on the phone like, hey man, is it cool if I use this beat? But his team, his lawyer, my team, my lawyers, it's all been super cool. Anytime I've sampled some legendary hip hop shit. But yeah, it's fucked up now that if you're really inspired by something and that shows in your music and they can prove that that's your inspiration, that someone can sue you for that. Someone can come for you, and that's how it's been.